Tell him, McCluskey. Tell him what time it is.
Little Hen says it's time to rock and roll.
All you people are so scared of me.
Come quietly or there will be trouble.
Man, that's just me.
I'm Batman.
This is Sparta!
There is a tiger in the bathroom.
I'm an excellent driver.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Ooh, shiny. Tell me something, Jimmy. Do you even know how to kill me? I'm gonna cut your goddamn head off. See if that works.
Welcome back to this week's Monday Movie Show, to the DVD and Blu-ray parts. Coming up in this part of the show, we have the DVD and Blu-ray rundown of the top 10 and reviews of these new releases.
We have horror film Dark Skies. Nicolas Cage is back in another film that he's done a million times before in Stolen. We have British film from director Danny Boyle with Trance and it's an Irish film, Good Vibrations.
Yep. Plus, then we also have a couple of TV movies of the week. For all that, though, let's go straight into the... in fact, before that, you've got a few shout-outs, haven't you, from people who replied to a question you asked online, haven't you?
Yeah, people that I've asked, what film will you refuse to see? Or film series that you will refuse to see? Stephen McCullough, or Saxon as I know him as, he says, Tommy Wiseau's The Room. It's so notoriously awful that I really want to watch it, but I force myself not to. And this is one film. I've actually been set a challenge to watch 12 hours of terrible, terrible films that people should give me their suggestions of what they are. I need between 8 and 10 films, and this is one of them. I watched the trailer and it looked god-awful.
Can I suggest In the Name of the King by Uwe Boll?
I've already seen it.
Oh.
I've already seen the sequel as well.
People are going to be hard-pressed to find 12 hours of things that are terrible that you haven't seen.
Yeah, exactly. A couple of more people. David Barber on Facebook said a Serbian film, which has cropped up a couple of times. The Wooster on Twitter said The Human Centipede 2. And Andrew Jones on Facebook said Open Water, possibly the worst film of all time.
It can't be the worst film of all time. There's got to be something worse than that.
Yeah.
Let's go into the DVD and Blu-ray top 10.
Yeah, number 10 is Parker.
Which is a below-average film for a Jason Statham film. It's far too long. It has problems with the characters, in particular Jennifer Lopez's character, who is unnecessary, should be in it for about 5 minutes and then disappear, but doesn't. And it's really just lacking. It's a sore disappointment. It starts out okay, but just goes downhill from there.
At number 9, a re-entry for Rise of the Guardians.
Which is, I liked it. I didn't think it was as brilliant as everyone else is making it out to be. I think you loved it a lot more than I did.
Yeah.
I think a problem with it is some of the stuff, for me, I think it doesn't translate well from the origins of the story, because I think it is a Russian story originally or something. It's Russian inspired or something like that. And so I don't think the magic of it entirely transfers. But I mean, it's well animated. It's really, really well animated. It's fun. I felt there was something lacking.
Number 8, Identity Thief.
Talking of lacking, is really lacking any laughs because it's not funny. I'm really getting tired of these comedies that are supposed to be really funny and are not. I mean, Melissa McCarthy she's a very dislikable character in it, as are a lot of the other characters. Nothing really redeeming. And you've got then Jason Bateman, who is in it, who really, you're just kind of like, really?
At number 7, The Smurfs.
Okay, I'm going to admit, I'm going to level. I didn't mind the first Smurfs film. I didn't really want to see it, but I watched it and I thought, okay, it's not bad. I enjoyed it. It was what it was. And I mean, the second one is probably going to be more the same, but we won't be reviewing that till it comes out on DVD. But the first one obviously has gone in the top 10 because the second one's out in the cinema.
Yep, I could think of a load of jokes I was thinking there with the Smurfs, but I'm not going to share any of them. At number 6, and you went for Welcome to the Punch.
Which is good. It's nicely put together. It kind of falters as it goes, and there's bits in it in the middle which kind of unnecessary could have been taken out and would have worked a lot better. It has, for me as well, one of the most annoying endings in that it doesn't really have an ending. It just stops. And I hope that was intended to be like that because they were trying to set it up to be a sequel, but whether or not that's going to happen, I don't know. But, I mean, James McAvoy is good in it. Mark Strong is good in it. There's some nice little moments in there for the characters and little things that have been thought out. So it's worth seeing for that because of the fact that it's a British film and it is miles better than most British films that are made. But it's just just shy of what I need it to be.
Yeah, in the live chat, I think Booger needs to get his cut because he says he liked Identity Thief. Please do.
Oh dear.
Yeah, at number 5, and you went for Side Effects,
which is possibly Steven Soderbergh's best film. I still haven't seen Behind the Candelabra yet, and I want to see it. But for me, I think Side Effects is the fact that he's restrained himself with the number of big celebrity actors he has in it. He's focused on a few in particular. You have Girl with the Dragon Tattoo,
Noomi Rapace.
Noomi Rapace, yeah, who is absolutely fantastic in this. And also you got Jude Law, who's in the film. Jude Law is actually not one of my favourite actors, but in this he's very good. And it has an issue that I like that it starts off and it kind of questions the whole thing of giving out medications. Like, oh, you're here, you're ill, take this pill. Here, you're ill, take this pill. And then it kind of gives up on that. And I wish it had stayed with that because it's a very good subject to cover.
Yeah, number 4, Jack the Giant Slayer,
which is completely irredeemable. It's not good. It falls apart straight from the beginning. The characters are uninteresting. The animation for it is terrible in parts. And the story is just really...
Yeah, I'm really hoping that Bryan Singer picks it up for the new X-Men film.
He better do better than that. He's got to do better than that. He really has.
Yeah, at number 3, and you went for The Host,
which you and I have very differing opinions on. I really liked it. I can't remember who it was. Someone else also said, I think it might have been Booger in live chat last week.
Yes, it was.
That they enjoyed it as well. I think it's very well put together. I like it. You can definitely see the scenes that are influenced by Andrew Niccol, the director. I think that it has been unnecessarily branded bad by a lot of people who either were wanting it to be a lot more like Twilight because it's based on a Stephanie Meyer book, or didn't give it a chance at all because of the fact of Twilight, and they were like, oh, I've had enough of Twilight and things like this, and so they're going to take it out on the host. I think that was unfair. I think people should have a look into it, check it out, give it a chance, because it's not as bad as people have made it out to be.
It's even worse than people make it out to be.
You don't help at all, do you?
Well, we're supposed to have different opinions. We can't agree on everything that we review, and I completely disagree with you on The Host. It's a terrible, terrible film. And number 2 is G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Talking of terrible...
I think The Host is actually worse than this.
No, not a chance.
Yes, it is.
Not a chance in hell. G.I. Joe Retaliation, okay, I'll admit, G.I. Joe, the first sort of hour of it is not bad for a sequel. And it has that nice, we keep saying every time, this nice aerial sequence in the mountains. After that, though, the last hour of it is completely brain dead. In fact, I sat there and I wanted to bash myself with a hammer in the head to be brain dead from watching this. It's awful. But it really, I mean, it is worse than The Host.
Nope, The Host is worse. At number 1 is Despicable Me.
I mean... What do we need to say about this? I mean, it's fantastic. It's better than for me. Despicable Me, the first one, is better than Monsters University. That's all I think I need to say.
Well, that's easy.
How is that easy?
Because Monsters University wasn't very good, and Despicable Me is.
Yeah, but I mean, Monsters University, it kind of says, it should have been better, and Despicable Me, absolutely fantastic. If you haven't seen it, then go out and buy it. It'll be at number 1 next week as well.
Yep.
That's it for the DVD and Blu-ray top 10. We're going to have a quick break, after which we'll come back to our first DVD review.
The From Page to Screen movie cast.
So they have 9 times out of 10 they have to send it back to you unopened or just throw it in the garbage can.
Things don't always look exactly as we envision our life to look, but sometimes it works out and turns out even better.
Gregor Fisher, his Bacon number is 2 because he was appeared with January Jones in Love Actually, and January Jones and Kevin Bacon appeared in X-Men First Class together.
I've got to say, the very Harold and Kumar 3D Christmas, now that just makes me want to rush out.
It's about the acting, about the writing. That's really what theatre is. for me.
Probably had more names than Prince or whatever. Never mind, there's a joke for the oldies. It'd be like, who's Prince? Who's he? I'd just like to see Mr. Freeze hiring his bad guys going, right, okay, so you're a psycho, right, can you ice skate? Head over to iTunes, Spreaker and Stitcher and put in the search box from page to screen.
And we're back. So let's get on to our first DVD Blu-ray review.
And that was terrible. Sorry.
What am I supposed to say? Oh, and we're back. Just, infuse a little energy. No, I've had far too much sugar today.
You can definitely tell. Dark Skies. It's directed by Scott Stewart, who did Legion and Priest. So it shows you the kind of caliber we're working here. It's under the Blumhouse production. Yeah, Priest is not too bad. Legion was a bit crap, but it's under the Blumhouse production. This is by Jason Blum. He's one of these producers who has a knack of having a budget of less than $10 million and being able to take box office takings wise at least double, triple, maybe even quadruple the amount that, including advertisement costs on top of the budget of any film. Every single film that Jason Blum has been involved with has been a box office success, has actually brought in more money than what it cost to make. So it shows you that he has got a knack with these kind of things. Dark Skies is very much a typical kind of movie. It centres on the Barrett family. The mother played by Kerry Russell, the father played by Josh Hamilton. And they've moved into the idyllic house. Stop me if you've actually heard this before. They've moved into their idyllic house. They've got money problems. Stop. Heard
that before.
Yep, I know. I'm going to get a lot of stops here. The father, his job is not bringing in very much money. The mother, she works as a realtor. She shows people around other houses. One day, strange things start to happen. They wake up during the night, they hear a loud noise, bottles and stuff from the cupboard have been stacked up to make a weird symbols on the ceiling.
So I just get a list and start ticking off things?
Pretty much. The kids see things that are in the corners of their bedroom, doors creak a lot. They call in the police thinking that somebody's burgled their house because they see footsteps on the floor. Their alarm goes off. The dogs bark a lot. The couple end off getting strange things, strange visions. The father seems to find himself out in the back garden on a night time. The mother, she seems to walk into a door a few times when she's showing people around the house. The kids obviously think that they're seeing something very spooky in the corner. They decide to try and get some help from somebody who's an expert in this. This time it's played by J.K. Simmons. He's supposedly well into the paranormal and all that stuff. Here's a clip.
Either of you heard a ringing in your ears that seems to be happening only inside your head?
Yes.
Have you experienced any unexplained illnesses, strange allergies, or nosebleeds?
Yes.
Yes. Have you witnessed any abnormal behavior by animals in your neighborhood?
3 different flocks of birds flew into our house the other day.
I would say that qualifies. Have either of you experienced any blackouts, stretches of time that you can't account for? And have you experienced a feeling that you might not be in control of your own body?
How do you know all this?
You are not alone in this.
So if you do have a checklist, I expect every single box on that checklist to be completely ticked. Tick through every single stereotypical box, because that's what you've got here. When I reviewed in the cinema section The Conjuring, I mentioned there's a scene where birds attack the house. This is exactly what happens in this. There's birds that swarm around the house, specifically crows, and they smack into the window on this as well. So again, you've heard it all before. This one, again, it's not too bad. I think it's probably Scott Stewart's best film, but that's not coming from very much, because Legion wasn't very good. Priest was okay, but it was all like visual flair and very little else in the movie itself. In this one, he's got a small budget. He's been told that this is how this film should play out, and he's just gone along with a few checklists. It has the typical end 20 minutes where it all ramps up and it goes very insane, and that's what you expect here. And there's a few like big loud bang scares that again it'll make anybody jump. You probably can guess when it's going to happen. You hear a door creak and you go, yep, that door's either going to slam all the way open and you're going to hear a big massive bang and see something in the corner, or it's going to slam really loudly shut and you hear a bang and then somebody drops something. So it's the very typical, everything is being done a million times before, but it's not too bad. It's worth a watch. On a dark night, close the curtains, just sit there and be entertained for about 90 minutes. If that's your cup of tea.
Hell no.
It's entertaining. Actually, these kind of movies now for me has just become my sort of like Saturday night entertainment kind of thing. So when you used to sit down and watch things like The Generation Game and Noel's House Party, this is now my entertainment because I've seen it a million times before, and I don't know when the last time I was scared from this kind of stuff.
Oh, it's better than the Saturday night television thing we had this week, the Know Your Country or Love My Country or something. That was awful.
Yeah, wait until Saturday. There's a game show about puppets.
Oh, I've seen the advert for that. I'm kind of curious about that. Sadly,
it looks horrible.
Stolen, which is directed by Simon West. It's starring Nicolas Cage as Will Montgomery, who is a sort of cat burglar thief. He's a good kind of well-known thief who's in New Orleans at the start of the film. He's there. He actually performs a robbery with a group, including one of his partners, Vincent, played by Josh Lucas. Things kind of don't go quite to plan. The police turn up. One of the policemen amongst the patrolman is played by Danny Houston, who manages to corner and capture Will, but not before Will has managed to burn the $10 million that they had stolen. So there is no evidence of him having it, so he's not able to go to prison for a long time. Cut so many years later, and he has served a shorter prison sentence, but has now been released. He's out. He's kind of looking to sort out things with his daughter, who is now a teenager, and things are kind of going okay for him. He's now out trying to sort himself out, get his life in order. But then what happens is that Vincent gives him a call, even though he'd been told that Vincent is dead. Here's a clip.
I want my share. I want my share.
Look, $10 million that was going to change our lives forever.
Benny, there is no cash.
I had a feeling you'd say that, Go.
I burned it just before Harlan got to me.
No. Stop it.
What's taking so long?
Hold on.
Wait a minute. Who?
That voice. Who was that?
Oh, that's right. You don't know. I'm a cab driver now. My fare is this sweet little girl trying to get to her shrink's office so she can discuss her daddy issues and how they have manifested into an unhealthy disdain for the world at large.
Hey, what are you doing?
Hold on, please, Gum.
Sorry, miss. Terrible Fat Tuesday traffic. Be there in a jiffy.
See how it lays?
Now, Gum, it all depends on whether or not you're going to stick to your story about the burnt cash.
You touch her and I'll take you down the levee and kick your ass.
I don't know if you heard what I just said, but this all depends on you.
So Will has to then go and try and find some way of getting this money so that he can then save his daughter, and you kind of have an idea of where this is going. It's being released on DVD now after it had a cinema release. This was released in America. I don't believe it actually got a cinema release. I think it was released straight to video over there. And really should have been here. It's not a cinema quality movie. It was, to give you an idea of how long it's taken to come out here, this is it getting on DVD after a few months ago it was in the cinema. This was directed by Simon West before he did Expendables 2. This is how long this has taken. It's typical poor Nicolas Cage film. It's not bad. It's just not good. It's got characters doing stupid things. It's got things that happen coincidentally, and you're like, oh, that was lucky. And it has an ending which is kind of like, you kind of see where it's going, and it kind of pays off. But honestly, it's not, top dollar merchandise here. It's literally sort of DVD, put it on, watch it, then take it back to the shop, or, rent it. I wouldn't say buy it. Unless you're a big Nicolas Cage fan, in which case, obviously, buy it. You're going to anyway. But it is very average poor to average quality. And so, I mean, if you want something you can sit there not really paying attention to, then okay, I guess you can watch it. Otherwise, don't bother.
Yeah, it's. I think I'm going to use this again. It's the checklist of typical Nicolas Cage action films.
It is. I mean, it's literally like we said, the whole thing of you've got the daughter there who's then kidnapped, and you've got to do this, and you've got to do this, and you've got to do this, and then really, I mean, it's not even a long film either. It's 96 minutes long, but it feels longer, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm going to read out the last few people's responses to the question that I had. Bryn Davis on Twitter, that's Bryn SMC, who's a part of Menage a Geek. He says, anything to do with Twilight Glee. So you'll not watch any of that kind of stuff.
There you have it, people. Your suggestions for recommendations of what Stuart has to watch for 12 hours.
Yeah, keep them coming in. Anybody who's listening on anywhere like iTunes or YouTube, etc., just send me a message at Cryptic Tadpole with your movie suggestions, and I probably will actually do this 12-hour marathon of films, of terrible, terrible movies, and do a special episode of the show.
You've got to see all the films you pick, which is the worst one, which is the best one. And if there's any that really surprise you.
I'll do that as well. A couple of conditions. There have to be movies that I've not seen. So if you send me a message with a film that I've seen, I'll send you a message back saying I've already seen it and come up with a different one. And if it's a full series, it can only be in one movie in that series. So you can't say the entirety of Twilight. It has to be only one film in the Twilight series, etc.
Viking Dawn Part 1.
You've really got a bad cough. Rita Scott on Facebook said, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, as I will not watch anything with Angelina Jolie in it.
Oh, no, I'm not having that. That's a decent film. It's tongue-in-cheek, it's intentionally tongue-in-cheek, and it's very good.
Somebody doesn't like Angelina Jolie. I've got two more responses.
There's plenty worse Angelina Jolie films out there, sorry.
One I'm going to leave until last because I know it'll actually get a response from you. This one is from Ben Lloyd Holmes, who's actually one of the people involved with Expedition the movie. He said, a Serbian film. I did my research, read about the director and his vision, yet it still seems like nastiness for the sake of it.
Yeah,
so it's understandable.
Thing is, though, the version you'll see, that's going to be edited, so you got a shorter version to watch than what everyone else has seen in the world anyway.
Yeah, and this was actually one of the first suggestions of films that I should watch in that 12 hours Serbian film, because I refused to watch it, so it might actually be one of the films I watch. Now, this one...
We're going to have to get you sat down in a chair like Clockwork Orange and get your eyes taped open.
Pretty much. And this one is the one which is going to get the response from you. This is from Al, the bald gamer dude. He says he won't ever watch Gattaca. It looks a bit crap, and his old English teacher loved it, and he was a bit of a dick, let's just say.
I have to have words with Al.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say on air.
Yeah. We better get on to the next review, because if we don't, there'll be lots of swearing.
Well, it's your one, so on you go.
Yeah. It's Trance. It's directed by Danny Boyle. It stars James McAvoy, who plays an art auctioneer called Simon Newton. At the start of the film, you see him at an auction. He obviously is the one person who stands at the front and sells the paintings. There's a huge, massive, big painting. I think it's Rembrandt, isn't it? I'm not sure. I didn't write it down. I know it's like really famous artist.
I'm trying to remember that because I haven't seen it since I saw it at the cinema.
Yeah, well, it's a huge, massive painting. I think it is by Rembrandt at this auctioneer called Delancey's. Sorry. And then he explains it at the opening of the film how people used to steal paintings and how the fact now it's actually changed. It seems that people want this painting because it's worth a lot of money at the start of the film. It sells for around about $25 million. And so a raid happens and somebody wants the painting. This forces Simon to take the painting out to the back to try and put it safely away. However, he gets attacked, he gets knocked out, and he gets a big massive case of amnesia where he can't remember what it is. The leader of this gang who wanted this painting, Frank, who's played by Vincent Cassel, really wants Simon to find out where this painting actually is, so he takes him to this hypnotist, who's played by Rosaria Dawson, to try and dig into his psyche to discover where he hid this painting. Here's a clip.
Stop right there. Step back.
Remember, do not be a hero.
Put it down.
No piece of art is worth a human life.
So, like I've said there, it's them trying to find this extremely expensive painting, and I know I've said the word painting a lot there. For the first, and me and Andy was having a bit of a conversation while that clip was playing out, and Andy says, "Did you find it very muddled or very terrible, to be honest, in the first hour or so?" And I was wondering in the first hour, where is this going? I hope it actually has a point and not. Because Danny Boyle did this film while he had a break from doing the Olympics. So you can probably tell that it looks a tiny bit rushed, and he was trying to hurry a lot of ideas together in this film itself. And for the first hour, it can be a tiny bit confusing to follow, and it's just a lot of them trying to discover where he might have hid it, and Rosario Dawson digging more deeper into his character, and you actually digging more deep into Rosario Dawson's character, because she's a very complex one, and you're thinking, how did he manage to choose her as this person to dig down into his psyche to try and find it? And it just didn't seem to have a proper plot going along with it in the first hour. In the last half an hour, that's when it all fully comes together. And there is a scene which lasts about 10 minutes, which just involves Rosario Dawson's character and James McAvoy's character in the car, and she explains everything, and you go, oh, so that's how it happened, and it starts to properly piece it together. It's like Boyle had the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle ready laid out, just waiting for you to get ready to stick it all together in the last half an hour, and that's what he does. So he does bring it together, but you have to stick with the movie for you to get the proper resolute ending. It's a nicely shot film. It's not one of Danny Boyle's bests. I still personally find 28 Days Later and Sunshine to be Danny Boyle's best films. I love Sunshine. It's a very underrated film. It's good, but that's all it is.
I really liked it. Like you're saying, the first sort of hour is a very bit of a mess and a muddle, but then it gets to that point and it's like, and it's like a light bulb goes on, and it's just, for me, that was very sort of amazing. It really completely blew me away. And I mean, that was back when I saw it in cinema. I haven't seen this again since, but I do want to see it again, so I'm going to try and see it again soon, because I do want to see it.
Yeah, the penny drops more and more and more when you get in the last half an hour. Then you're thinking, there definitely has to be a point to this. He must be going somewhere, and he mustn't be leading us down a red herring where it's just going to be boring.
Okay, I'm going to go on to the last DVD of the night, released tonight, which is Good Vibrations. It is a somewhat a sort of biopic film about Terry Hooley, who is a man who was involved in sort of the whole thing of bringing about the punk rock scene in Belfast during the 1970s. You have in the movie, I don't actually think, is it Richard Dormer? I think, yeah, Richard Dormer, who plays Terry. And the movie starts off with him played by kids as a kid, and a very odd but weirdly kind of humorous scene where you find out that when he was very young, he was shot in the eye with a toy arrow, which resulted in him having a glass eye in one eye, and so that was him for the rest of the life, just had one eye. And later on in life, possibly because of this, he then got interested in music. He gets into music and starts putting together things to actually make a record shop that he puts together called Good Vibrations in Belfast during the time of the Troubles. For anyone who's not aware of what the Troubles are, look up IRA and the Troubles on Wikipedia. You'll get more than enough to tell you what it's about. The whole thing is about then that he has this issue of he gets interested in music. He then sees that there are bands that are doing quite well in sort of the really good music in the Belfast area because of the fact of the Troubles. No one has come over to see them. No one has come to sign them. So he sets about then becoming as well essentially a record producer and getting music sorted out and signed up. And it's about his life as a result of that up to present day, where he's been involved in the music scene in Ireland quite heavily. It is. We don't have a clip for it, but what I'm going to say is basically it is quite an impressive film, considering the fact that I didn't know about the character. I'm not massively into the music scene. I know enough, but I don't know names of people like Terry Hooley. But the thing is, it's one of these kind of true life dramas, so it does suffer from that true life thing of that there's kind of sometimes events happen, you're like, okay, really, did that happen? How much of that was played up? How much of that was made up? How much of it didn't happen and such? But there are a few moments in this. The rest of it, though, is really surprisingly good. Great performances in it. Richard Dormer is absolutely brilliant in the title role. There are sequences in it about, because it goes through from the 1970s to the 80s, and then a part in the 80s, and it actually ends in the 80s, but then has an afterword on it on the screen telling you what happened and what happened with Good Vibrations, the shop, and what happened with his life and such, because you see during the film he's married and has a child, and it was surprisingly enjoyable, and I'm quite surprised at how well put together and how decent a film is for it being a biopic of someone who I've never heard of before. So if you're into the music scene, I presume that it'll be someone that you may know, even you may know the name, and something to definitely see. Even if you're not into music scene, similar, not quite at the same level, but similar to a documentary about Senna. If you had no interest in in F1 car racing, then you should have seen Senna. If you have no real interest in music, you might still consider seeing this because it was actually pretty good. No comment?
Nope.
You've seen it, though.
I haven't.
I thought you said you've seen it.
No, I haven't seen Good Vibrations.
Okay, I'm saying to you, see it, because I think it's pretty good.
Okay.
That's it for this week's DVD and Blu-ray releases. TV movies of the week.
You go first.
Okay. You've gone really quiet on me now.
I'm just sending a text to somebody, so...
Put your phone down.
It should be using the code of conduct while we're doing the show, as well as being in the cinema, but... Sorry.
Okay. I feel a bit better now, knowing that's why you went quiet, not something I've done.
Yeah, next week I'll have a bucket of popcorn and eat really loudly and with some nachos as well.
Oh, that's it. We're going to do a sound test next week and see who can bring in the loudest noise of food.
I've got some Doritos there, so I could. There are other crisps available, though.
Oh, please don't. Gross Point Blank is my TV movie of the week. It's on BBC One, Friday the 9th of August at 11:35pm. It's a good comedy. It's very dry humour, bleak humour about a hitman who goes back to his high school reunion with John Cusack as the main guy, and it's just brilliantly funny.
Do you want mine?
No, it's okay. We'll just end the show here.
Get lost. I've actually gone for a bit of a strange one, to be honest. And it's on Channel 4 at 1:05, that's in the afternoon, on Friday, August the 9th, and it's Young Sherlock Holmes.
No, I can agree with that. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a Steven Spielberg Presents film. It's directed by Barry Levinson, and it's just about Sherlock Holmes in his younger days. I really like this film. It is one of those films from the 80s where not a lot of people actually admit to saying that they really like this movie and they enjoyed it, but I did. It's an entertaining film. It's back in the 80s when they pushed the boundaries of children's films to the nth degree. If you think they get away with a lot of things in 12-year rated films now, back in the 80s for PG films they got away with a lot. And this film was definitely another one of those sort of like Indiana Jones-esque kind of things, because it has a few moments like that in it. So it's on Friday at 1:05 in the afternoon.
And anyone who's ever seen this will remember the cream cake sequence, which is just one of the funniest, weirdest sequences you've ever seen. It's like something out of a Terry Gilliam film.
Definitely is. It's very twisted, and this film came out in 1985, so
I think it was the first film as well to use ILM for some kind of effect. The stained glass window soldier, I think, was one of their first effects or something.
So it's 28 years old, this film. Oh, that makes me
Oh
feel
god,
old.
the feel old, yeah. Okay, some shout outs before we end up the show with followingthenerd.com, of course, who do their show Thursday nights. They are back now this week after being away in Germany, the lucky sods, last week.
They've been away for 3 weeks.
Yeah, but they were away at the Star Wars
They
one
weren't
last week.
away last week because Mark was absolutely ill last week. It was the week before when they were in Germany.
Well, he got what he deserved.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's kind of harsh.
No, it is. I agree.
Lolacourse.co.uk, our good friend Bounty Ball and his minions that are running their
Including
site.
Dalek sex, let's just say, because Dalek very rarely gets a mention.
God, you know that's a perfect analogy. Dalek sect as a minion. That's just perfect. That will really annoy him. You've got From Page to Screen, the other Stuart, our good friend Stuart Bannerman, who does shows with both of us at different times. Following the From Page to Screen, which is with the number 2 instead of the word 2.com. Menage a Geek, who had Al, the ball gamer dude there, who I have messaged since. He's come back saying he's still not going to watch Gattaca. I mean, people at Bald Gamer Dude on Twitter just nag him about watching Gattaca because it's a fantastic film and he won't.
He has to kill you though.
Yeah, the Time
He's
Warriors.
Scottish, so I would watch yourself.
I'll just feed him some drink and it'll stop him. The Time Warriors.co.uk, who are also another podcast that's out there, and you've also got CERNFoundation.org.uk, SEREN Foundation.org.uk, who is our charity that we've adopted.
Yep.
That have a look at their site, give whatever you can because it will be received and thanked.
I'm wearing their shirt right now, actually.
We're not doing a video thing though. You see, you've got to set that up. You've got to set that up ahead of time. You know?
Oh God, no! People don't want to see my ugly mug. Trust me. If you think that we get very few listeners now, we'll have absolutely zero, and we'll get complaints.
Okay.
That's a picture for you.
So we'll be back again next Monday at 7:30 with the latest DVDs, cinema, everything to do with film in the UK out that week, including in cinema releases. We have. Which one is this? I forget now. I've completely lost train of thought.
Lone Ranger, Percy Jackson, The Sea of Monsters, Alan Partridge, Alpha Papa, and unfortunately for me, I'm going to be forced to see Grown Ups 2. Whoopee.
Aha. Yeah, but the one that I was trying to remember what the clip is a Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters. So we'll leave you with this clip until next Monday at 7:30. Bye-bye.
No. What
have I forgotten?
Hold your horses. Movie of the week.
See, the next noise that you hear will be me hitting my head against the desk.
Please do it really hard. That sounded painful. It actually sounded like you smacked your head off a lamp.
No, that's because I have a glass on the table.
Oh, okay then.
Now I'm trying to think, actually. Concussion. For me, it's really hard to say, but I think I am going to say Only God Forgives.
You have hit your head hard.
Oh, we don't need to know what yours is because we already know what yours is.
Yeah, Red 2. No, actually, it's from up on Poppy Hill, obviously.
So, until next Monday at 7:30, here's a clip from Percy Jackson, The Sea of Monsters.
Yeah, goodbye.
Bye-bye.
You are here about Hermes?
His son, actually. It's kind of important.
Yeah, I could tell the way you burst in here all rude like.
You're...
Hermes. Little insulted you didn't recognize me. My feelings might have even been hurt. I wasn't such a self-confident individual. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm killing these shorts. You like this tie? Just bought it. Hermes, of course. Check it out. State-of-the-art sorting, processing, and packaging facility. If you're gonna cross paths or Zeus forbids swords with him, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to have a thing or two to help you out. Collector's item. Twist the cap off this, you release the winds from the four corners of the earth. Now you tell me that isn't cool. Whoa, no, not in here. Now, you're also gonna want one of these. I hold in my hands a matter eliminator, trademark pending. Anything you outline with this will disappear. Gone.
Thanks again.
They'll never make it.